What's going on, my fuzzy fellows? Many of you have been asking me about Datagram, what they do, or if you're Eric Schirmeyer, you have no idea what they do. So I'm going to try to elucidate that in this video, as well as discussing, of course, the node sale that's going to be coming up for them, running the nodes, all that information, tokenomics, it was funding, yada, yada, yada. As always, if you use the code DOCTOR when you're purchasing any of these nodes, you'll be entered into winning one of two nodes as a giveaway. So first off, Datagram, the decentralized infrastructure for the internet. What are they building? Okay. So they are building this wonderful, basically D-pin base layer. Okay. It's going to be AI driven. It's Hyper Ledger Fabric. Okay. So it's going to be enabling really fast, scalable connectivity. And of course, the biggest thing is decreasing those costs for any kind of companies, businesses, servers, whoever's running things on the network by 90% compared to traditional platforms like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. And they've already tested this and been an alpha testnet. If you didn't, check out my video previously about them. And so they've had over 1 million users powered by the Datagram network. They've had 200 businesses on it. So it is functioning. We have a functional product. And some of the funding, we're talking about Animoca Brands, Avalanche, Blizzard, which is Avalanche funding. I know Mexi Global on here, KuCoin. So I'm expecting some of those listings in the decks when we get to that as well. And then, this is really built for performance and built for scale. Okay, really, so it can scale up, really utilizing all those idle resources. So this is one you are going to be using a actual, VPS, your own computer at home nodes, and we'll discuss those rewards later and maybe the best way to maybe get around that. So, they're really setting this wonderful base layer, and obviously Avalanche is very supportive of this as they have raised over $4 million already through Blizzard Avalanche Fund, as well as, Animoca and some of these other folks here that you have seen that, jumped in on some of the funding. So they have some excellent backing already. And like I said, they already have this, base layer down. So the node sale is coming up. They did an alpha node testnet run, right, where you're able to run them for free. Maybe get a small like airdrop for doing so. Now the node the node network and everything's going to be going mainnet. They're still scheduled Q3 2025. If you don't know, we're in Q3 2025. So this is just right around the corner. The node sale is in a couple days here. They have a preferred whitelist sale, which is August 10th, and then a pre-sale whitelist August 11th. If you want to be part of the pre-sale, all you got to do is come in here and just connect your wallet to Datagram, and you can get whitelisted for the pre-sale whitelist. Now, it's pretty limited how many you're going to be able to purchase during those whitelists, which I think is really nice because they're trying to make it fair for everybody to be able to own a full core node and run these, because these are at very, very nice price points. Okay, so when you get down to the price points for their tier 1, and we'll discuss kind of differences here with the airdrops and the Prime memberships, but the price per node is $150 starting out for 2,000 of them. In the tranche 2, it goes up by $50. It goes up by $50. So these initial couple tranches, I do expect them to sell out. $150, $200, those are really good price points for a project like this, especially with the absolute upside potential that is in this. So I think this is at this time a great buy. I think this is a good place to put it, and I think, like I said, it's a low price point. And you can decide how many you want to get in here. If you are part of the whitelist, so you can only get 2 out of this tranche, 2 out of this tranche, because of the lower price. Want to keep it fair for everybody, and when we get to the public sale, allowing people to be able to get, of course, more of those. And so we'll kind of go through some of the tokenomics here. They have a really, really cool kind of system here. So everything that's being produced, right? So your nodes during the day, your uptime, and then of course all the things that you're kind of running, you're getting paid back in Datagram. Okay. Well, anybody who wants to like purchase Datagram and utilize it on the network, any businesses, anything to utilize, server space, they can actually burn Datagram, and it'll burn it and give them data, which is pegged. Okay. The price is like pegged to it so that they can hold the data coin and the price won't go up or down at all. And they can use that to like pay for services and stuff, which is really cool. So with the reward points, there's 3 different things. These aren't actual tokens you're getting. These are during the day points you're accumulating on these. And then at the end of the day, these basically get turned in for Datagram. Okay. And it's basically what your node is doing, for traffic. So you're earning, points through your UDP based traffic, right? For real time data transmission, like audio, video calls, gaming. Your TCP points, is base traffic requiring high reliability accuracy. So streaming, messaging, storage, and then AI points, any of your nodes processing AI related traffic, combining compute, low latency data. And so we'll talk about whether you can get some more points, some more datagram by running maybe a little beefier system. And so the incentive portion is definitely solid there. The tokenomics is excellent. So it's 50 freaking percent is going to the nodes, which is wild at a $150 price point to me. And then, of course, governance participation, getting to vote on things with the model. So here's the tokenomics. I'm going to go to the other one though, that's a little more clear. But the big thing here, guys, 50% goes to node operators. That is a giant amount for any system. I think that's superb. I think node operators are absolutely going to be the winners above anybody else involved in this, investors, seed, anything like that. And the reason I'm popping over here is because I want to talk about the cliffs, because, for TGEs and our cliffs and everything like that, that's always what matters tremendously, right? So first off, Datagram, max supply, 10 billion tokens, okay? At TGE, they're only going to mint 5.75 billion, okay? And this isn't all going to be like out there, okay? Operating like this is going to really make sure that we're getting, a really substantial portion of the supply into lockups and vesting schedules. So that's where most of it's going to be. And it'll really result in like a significantly lower initial circulating supply, which really kind of promotes, on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all those places on kind of how the token price is doing and the strength of the project in general. So right here is where I want to talk about. So full core operators. So we're talking about our node folks, node runners, okay? At TGE, they're minting 15%, okay? And that 15% is going to be, vesting daily for 12 months. Obviously, this is going to go on and on. I'm looking for the number. It's like 0.0625% of the supply per day, is going to the nodes. We'll look at it again later here. But for the airdrop, people are doing alpha testnet, things like that. Anybody getting those, airdrops? 0% at TGE, a daily vesting for 12 months. And then the capsules, which we'll talk about here in a minute, is a daily vesting for 12 months as well, unless you want to burn it early and get a certain percentage at each time. Ecosystem, right? So 100% TGE, and then the M&Ms, exchanges, and LPs are the ones that are 100% TGE, okay? Investors, here we have daily vesting for 3 years, okay? So that's a nice slow daily vesting, 10% of the allocation. Team, 10%, they have a 6-month cliff and then 3 years vesting. Okay, so very nice as well. Advisors, 6-month cliff, 3 years vesting. And then the KOL round is 0% TGE and then daily vesting for 12 months. And that's 1.5% allocation. So pretty low. So tokenomics, I think, are really strong. Price points really strong. Node operators are getting a tremendous amount. And then setting these nodes up are actually really easy. I'll definitely be able to drop a video about that and it'll be straightforward versus some of the recent ones that have been way more difficult to discuss and go through. Like many of the projects that we've been in, like I said, it's like 0.0625% of the remaining supply is distributed daily to the core node operators. Okay, so something nice like that. A couple different things here that I want to talk about. One was, how can we get an increased amount by running like a better system, okay, or a more reliable system? So first off, 80% of the rewards, okay, are just allocated to uptime rewards. So if you want to keep it simple and you don't want to worry about it, yeah, we can get like a simple VPS because the requirements for it is pretty low right now. For the VPS, all the VPSs we run will be sufficient. However, 20% is allocated to resource sharing rewards. So it's kind of a question of, okay, well, if you're running like a really nice, strong, solid computer, are you going to be able to get additional rewards? And it's possible. Okay. I'd say initially, as soon as we pop out, not right away, but it is definitely possible. And here's the reward calculation. So I was dead on 0.0625% daily for that, node network uptime. So the resource sharing rewards, okay, so that remaining 20%, okay, is going to be calculated through the value shared services like the UDP, AI, TCP that we talked about, okay, and then those will be swapped into Datagram tokens. Okay, anything that is a difference will be used using this special rewards pool. And the special rewards pool is basically any unused resource sharing rewards are transferred into that reserve pool to be used later for, if we ever go over how many, like special sharing rewards need to be put out there. So I think that's a really nice way and way they have it set up here. So here's the whitelist aspect. Okay. So if you are in any of the whitelist phases, you can only get 2 nodes in tranche 1, 2 nodes in tranche 2, 4, and then 4. And then for the enhanced, it's 5, 5, 10, and 10. And we'll talk about the enhanced and the airdrop capsule that those come with and whether you want to do that. And then the prime is a no purchase limit. Okay. So for node payments, it's USDT, USDC on Ethereum. Kept it really simple, straightforward, just Ethereum, USDT, USDC payments. The sale is going to be just on their main site here. And so if you just go to the Datagram site, it'll be right there for the node sale as soon as everything goes live. So pretty straightforward with that. The capsules, let's pop back to that because people want to chat about this for sure. So for the capsules here, this is in the tranche or the tier 2, tier 3. Okay, so tier 2, tier 3, it shows the minimum amount of tokens you'll get per capsule. Now remember, these are daily vesting over 12 months. And if you do the math and you say, okay, I could have gotten one at the cheapest price, which is possible, $150. This one's $350. That's $200 worth extra you're paying for 2,500 datagram. That's the minimum. We're talking about like 8 cents per token, kind of like I don't know if you want to consider that like a pre-seed or investment that you're putting in here. Now, with the capsules, because of the daily vesting, let's say it was daily vesting and it was like 50% of the way done, like halfway through the year, 6 months. From my understanding, you're able to burn it and then, redeem like the other 50%, right? So upon early redemption, 50% of any unvested Datagram tokens are permanently removed from the allocation pool. And then the remaining 50% of that amount is proportionally redistributed to other active capsules. So it really gives like a mechanism for people to encourage to like have longer term participation with those capsules if you want to get in and dabble with that game as well. So thought that was pretty cool. To be able to redeem and burn the capsule, you got to run your full core no license for at least 100 hours. And then you could like, burn this right away for like, 1,250, tokens. And then the half of that half will go back to the other, capsules and stuff as well. Prime gives you like a Datagram Prime membership, which is right here. That basically is giving you, another range of exclusive benefits, enhancing your participation in the ecosystem, including direct access to core team members, early access to test the new tech, features before public release, and then limited edition Datagram Prime merchandise, and any kind of priority registration for any in-person events, meetups, summits, private gatherings. So anybody who's wanting to be the cool kid definitely can, end up grabbing one of these Prime memberships in the tier 3. So I really do think Datagram, in short, is a great price point. This $150, $200, in these tranches is a great price point. I think there will be a rush when it's a public sale. Whitelist, we're definitely going to see, this number drop significantly, I expect. Because you can only get 2, so that's nice. They limited to just 2 to try to make it fair for everybody. But I definitely think it's worthwhile, grabbing a couple of these and absolutely running them for what they're building and this gigantic base layer that they have, supported by Avalanche, and the the pre-seed funding that they have for the $4 million. I think we're going to see definitely some groups and some collaborations, partnerships, and people utilizing their network, which will really solidify the decentralized Web3 DePIN, structure in the background. So very cool project. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. And as always, stay warm, monkeys.